No motivation for workout or exercise? Today, I'm going to share with you some tips and strategy to get you moving again. Let's go! Hi, I'm Melanie the physio, also the co-founder of Capital Physiotherapy here in Australia. Now, in the past 18 months since the pandemic happens, I see more and more of my clients coming into my clinic telling me that they have lost their motivation to work out. Because of the lockdown, the starts and stop and then start again lockdown, it really affects their lifestyle and changes their motivation to really be active and stay active. I hear a lot of my clients coming into my clinic saying that they have lost the motivation to work out and to be active, or since the pandemic starts they have gained 10 kg, that's also very common, or since the pandemic starts because the gym starts and stop, they lost the routine to exercise, or they have children at home all the time where they couldn't find time to exercise, etc, etc. And I'm finding more and more people who used to be very active, that they see me before the pandemic, slowly getting more and more inactive, and people who's sedentary to start off with before the pandemic is getting even more sedentary by not even going to their office or not even commuting to their office, and they become more inactive since the pandemic has begun, and they start experiencing a lot of aches and pain throughout their body because of their lack of activity. Let me hear your stories. I would love to hear about your challenges and the difficulty that you face to keep yourself motivated to exercise. I myself included, there are times throughout this pandemic that I find myself get demotivated to exercise, and I'm sure a lot of people out there is feeling the same way, but I want to assure you that you're not the only one. And today in this video, I'm going to share with you some tips and some strategy that help me keep myself motivated to stay active in these difficult times. Now, the first tip I have for you is to start having a routine. Start setting some sort of routine in your life and start to set time, day, duration that you're gonna be dedicated purely for just being active. It is very easy to procrastinate at home and to lose track of time. All these little things that you have to do at home, little house chores, working at home, meeting after meeting, and before you know it, the day has finished and you have lost your chance to exercise for that particular day. Now, when the pandemic first started, I too find myself in this situation that suddenly my routine is all out of whack. Like, I don't have to rush to a gym to a certain class at a certain time anymore, and I find myself suddenly in control of how much I want to exercise on my own, and there's nothing that sort of forced me to get going at all. And slowly I find myself digressing, and with all the things that I have to do at home, I just find that eventually I just have all these excuses or all these things that I have to do, and before I know it, my exercise routine completely come to a halt and I just stop exercising entirely. Setting a set time, day, and duration just gives you that routine to stick to it and prioritize yourself, your health over anything else that's going on. Work can wait, dishes can wait, children can't really wait, but you can work yourself around having kids downtime as your workout time. Your fitness and your health have to come first. The key is to keep it simple, set it, and just do it. Don't think too much about it. The more you think about it, the more likely you're not gonna do it. Just get up, just do it, and before you know it, you'll be over and done with, and you're done for the exercise for that day. Now, the second tip I have for you is to don't beat yourself up if you're not as active or not as fit as you were before. And for my example, during the pandemic, I gained weight as well. And it was quite disappointing because I thought I was keeping myself quite active during the first lockdown, that I was keeping active every day at home. I was doing all these exercises. And then when I step on the weighing scales, I'm like, why did I gain weight? I was trying very hard to keep up with the same lifestyle that I have before, but all my hard work is not showing the results that I want. And because of that, it really affected my motivation because I thought I was doing everything right. I thought I was keeping myself active and as fit as before, but in reality, I wasn't. I wasn't pushing as hard as I used to when I was in the group classes in the studio or a fitness center or a gym. I wasn't pushing myself as hard. I wasn't doing the same exercise. I just wasn't as active as I was before. And the more I see that whatever effort I've put in is not showing the result, the more unmotivated I become. So I've learned then to stop being so goal-oriented and result-oriented. My personality have always been very goal-oriented, and to let that go wasn't my natural instinct to do it. I actually have to try very hard to not be result-driven and just enjoy the process of just being active. For example, instead of saying, I've done my targeted 30 minutes workout today, but I didn't really sweat as much as I do, I'm not pushing myself hard enough. These are the things that would instinctively comes to my mind when I finish my workout. But I have to then train my brain to think differently. I have to learn to think in a different way. I started to shift my mindset and trying to tell myself, hey, I did 30 minutes of workout today when this morning when I woke up, I didn't feel like doing it at all. So just shifting my mindset to the fact that I have to keep up at a certain level, that alone when I feel that when I just get rid of that standard that I have in my mind, then it actually keeps me motivated to just exercise and do whatever I can and be proud of what I've accomplished that day. And that alone is enough to keep me just that little bit motivated to push that little bit harder the next day to do it again and again and again. Now, the third tip I have for you is not to bombard yourself with too many negativity at one go. This is really easier said than done. I mean, work is constantly stressful, the news is constantly bad, and children is constantly at home. It's a lot of things happens and it feels like it's completely out of your control, and it's not like I don't want to hear any negative news, so it's not happening. It's out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't really work like that. With this pandemic, with this lockdown and open again, lockdown and open again, there's so much stress going on with my business side of things, and then my staffing issues as well, and then the changing of protocols so frequently because of this pandemic. Just so many things going on, and it's when it's days like that where everything just comes at one go and everything just happens at the same time are those days that I feel like the last thing I think about is get up and get moving. I cannot tell you how many times this has happened to me, that the stress level gets so out of control that I just feel completely unmotivated to work out. All this stressor just seems to keep coming at their own pace, and it's not like you can just block them out and then they're gone. But how ironic is this? Because everybody knows that exercise relieves stress, but the more we feel stressed, the less we want to exercise. It's like a vicious cycle. So to counteract that, I limit myself to just one news a day, and that's it. And that's all I touch about news. I don't flip through my phone to 5 or 6 different links to news talking about similar stuff. I look at one of them, I pick up the main point, and that's it. And I find that really helps to keep my stress level down on the things that I absolutely have no control over. So over these past few months, I've learned what's the capacity of my stress quota, if you say. And if I feel that, say for example today, that my stress quota is about to hit the limit, I would stop and pause. That means I wouldn't do anything else that's gonna cause me to increase my stress level to the point that I feel so unmotivated to get up and move or to exercise for that day. And what I find with this experience or this practice is that I find that a lot of things is not as bad or as urgent as they seem, that they couldn't wait for a couple of hours or a couple of days before I respond to them. And surprisingly, a lot of the time my stress level can be almost hitting the limit, and I paused and I get myself out of that situation and I worked out. And after I work out or after I exercise, I feel that my stress level is so much better that I can actually then allow myself to open more emails, to reply to more people, and to deal with their urgent situation, that if I didn't have taken a step back to reduce my stress, I wouldn't have been able to do that for others. And that's the same I feel for anyone that's out there, for parents with children at home or with work, with deadline to meet. I feel that you have to learn to just make time for exercise, because if you just let it be, you will never have time for exercise. The fourth tip I have is to have a support system around you that pushed you to be active or to keep you accountable for being active. I find that having friends or setting set time with your friends, or even just with a fitness studio to do your Zoom classes at a certain time, all these things, once you set it on your timetable or your calendar, it keeps you accountable to actually attend it and just do those activities even when you don't feel like it. And what I find is working out with a friend or in a group classes, it will just keep you motivated because it will be more social, everyone will keep each other going, and because it's more fun, then I'm more likely to do it again and again and again. If you haven't been active for a long time and wanted to start getting active again, and you don't know what kind of exercise you should do with your friend, we just start a new flexibility series. It's a 7-day program to help you keep your entire body nice and flexible. It's something that's very easy to ease into for a starter, so I highly recommend you check them out after this video. The fifth tip I have is to change up your exercise. Now, I know some people are good with doing the same exercise over and over and over again, but for me, I'm not one of those people. I cannot do the same exercise every day and still feel motivated about it. I can't do aerial dance all the time, same as I can't do figure skating all the time. I just get bored of it after a while. So what I find works for me best is to change up my exercise routine depending on how much time I have for that day that I delegate for exercise. If I have a long time, I might do a full hour classes. If that day I only delegate a good 30 minutes, I might do a quick HIIT workout. This sort of varying exercise keep me motivated and keep me interested in doing them so that I don't get bored of them over time. And it also helped me work out different parts of my body throughout the week so that I don't work on the same group of muscle over and over again. The only thing that I wouldn't do in a million years is to have a walk around the park or to run outdoors, because I have really bad hay fever. No kidding. My hay fever is so bad and it's almost all year round. I have to get injection every week for it. But for most of the people out there, going outdoor and into the park and to run around is probably the best idea you can do to keep yourself active. So get out, enjoy the weather, breathe some fresh air that the cool spring season is bringing in this Australian weather, and enjoy it. I hope that these tips will help you get yourself more active again and to get you out of your less active lifestyle. And to all Australian right now that's facing lockdown, just hang in there because we will get over it soon. I upload video here on a weekly basis on health and fitness related topic as well as injury rehab topic. Once again, I'm Melanie and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe, happy and healthy. See ya!